Hey everybody, I am Aaron Marr, and what I watched today is Book 12, Chapter 13 of Avatar The Last Airbender, Journey to Ba Sing Se, Part 2, The Drill. We start off right away with a quick recap of the last episode, and then we lead right into this episode's action. We zoom in on the drill, and it is an impressive feat of Fire Nation engineering. It's also here that we find out that Azula and her crew just happen to be on the drill as well. Talk about guided by fate, everyone arriving at Ba Sing Se at the same general time. She orders May and Ty Lee to take out the earthbenders that are in the drill's way, because, well, the Earth Nation has sent a squad of top earthbenders to stop the drill. And while they're quite impressive against the tanks that were escorting the drill itself is pretty much untouchable. Like, they try to use like pillars of earth to slow it down, and it just breaks through them. At the same time, Ty Lee and May drop out the drill. May, does pretty much nothing as Ty Lee takes out this entire group of just like elite earthbenders. And while, Ty Lee's quite impressive, her little acupuncture strikes are just devastating, especially to benders who rely on the flow of chi in their bodies to do all this, At the same time, around this same time, the Avatar and his group have scaled the wall, and they're talking to the general at the top. And, they're saying, it's like, we want to help against the drill, and he's like, we don't need the Avatar's help against the drill. This is Ba Sing Se, the impenetrable city, and we have never been penetrated. And right after Ty Lee takes out their entire Earth Nation's elite Earthbender squad, the general, goes like, we're doomed! And Sokka smacks him upside the head, and Toph's like, do you want the Avatar's help now? And he's like, yes, please. And it's just like, it is hilarious. So they all turn to Sokka for a strategy, and he's like, well, I'm the idea guy? So what, I'm supposed to always come up with a plan? That's a lot of pressure. You're also the complaining guy. That I don't mind. Classic Sokka. Between the sarcasm and everything else, it's a really great, funny little scene there. We switch for a moment to Zuko's ferry arriving at a different point in the wall, and Iroh, in order to get them past a cranky bureaucrat lady, flirts with her, and Zuko's basically just being like, I'm going to forget I saw that. Like, he's just weirded out by his old uncle flirting with this lady. And we also get a moment of Jet and his crew talking about, it's like, we're going straight, but maybe we should recruit Lee, or, well, Zuko, to join us. And, Jet's like, he obviously didn't get that scar from a waterbender. Thinking that Zuko's going to be on the same page as him and hate firebenders. Which, not a bad thing to assume considering his scar and the fact that he's among the refugees. We go right back to Aang and company, and Katara talks about how, what I said before, Ty Lee takes you down from the inside and, blocks the flow of chi and all that, which is, what the benders use to do their bending. And that gives Sokka an idea, and he gets really excited about it. He's like, ooh, 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 idea! It's another moment that made me laugh. It still makes me laugh talking about it. And, it's like, he's like, why don't we attack the drill from the inside? So Aang and crew use cover from a dust cloud created by Toph, run up to the drill, and then Toph, makes a hole with her earthbending, and then, they drop into a tunnel down there to, get under the drill. So Sokka's like, it's so dark in here, I can't see anything! And I was like, oh no, what a nightmare. I really love when Toph just, makes jokes about her blindness, especially at Sokka's expense. And it both shows, that she doesn't give a shit, and that Sokka is just, he keeps forgetting she's blind because of how capable she is. He doesn't really think about it. And, really, I love their dynamic. They come up between the drill's treads, and they find an access hatch that they're able to go to, well, not so much an access hatch as a hole in the bottom. Real engineering oversight there, guys. That they accessed her, and Toph refuses to go inside because she can't bend in a metal environment. Sokka finds plans for the drill. Well, he says he needs to find plans for the drill, and it's an impressive way that they get them, because he breaks something, an engineer comes down to fix it, and then Katara uses all the steam that was released from breaking that one pipe to freeze the engineer in place so they can steal his plans. And they figure out from the plans that if they take out all the struts that make up the inside of this device, and then strike it with a hard blow from outside, it will basically crumble down on itself. And that is a really solid plan. As at this point we go back to Zuko and Iroh waiting in a sort of tram station kind of thing. Jet sidles up to Zuko, asking him, what his plans are in the city. Iroh buys some tea off a card, and he's just like, "The cold tea," and the man loves his tea. Jet asks to speak to Zuko alone, and asks him to join his freedom fighters, talking about how they made a great team looting the captain's food. Zuko tries to politely decline, and then Jet realizes, looking over Zuko's shoulder, sort of, that they're Fire Nation, because he notices that Iroh heated his own tea. And this is one of those moments where I'm like, damn it, Iroh, I know you love tea, but you are undercover in the middle of a ton of Earth Nation refugees. As much as you love your tea, hold back, man. That is Iroh's big mistake right there, is doing that. Then we go back to Team Avatar, and their plan to cut through the struts isn't going very well. They are able to move the water fast enough to cut through the steel, which, impressive, and that is actually something water can do. If you move it fast enough, it will cut through metal quite easily. But the struts are extremely thick, and Katara and Aang are wearing themselves thin from the strain of trying to cut through them completely. But it's at this point they start to figure out, wait a minute, we don't need to cut through them completely. We just need to cut through them most of the way to weaken them. And then, weaken as many of them as we can, and then they'll all snap when you deliver the blow. Which is, a much more effective plan than let's cut completely through every single one of them and let it collapse under its own weight. And it's about this time that the Fire Nation start finding evidence of their sabotage. They find one of the cut struts, they find the guy who they ambushed for plans, and Azula and her gang go, okay, we're gonna go stop them. And they get to them right after they're finished cutting through most of the last strut, so it took them a bit to actually find the Avatar and his crew. And Sokka's been calling them Team Avatar this entire episode, because he likes the name given to the Earthbender squad. He wants his own squad name, dang it. And it's at this point where the girls are like, we found you, and it's Tyler's like, ooh, we found the Avatar and friends. And she really seems to have a thing for Sokka, and part of me is like, hey, keep your hands off. He's with Suki. I'm sorry, I think him and Suki are just such a great couple. So sue me. Please don't. I have no money. Anyhow, the gang splits up. Ty Lee and May going after Sokka and Katara. And Sokka and Katara try to lose them by jumping into this slurry pipe that's full of water and rocks from the wall. May's like, no, I'm not jumping in there. But Ty Lee just kind of goes, you know what? I'm afraid enough of Azula. She said follow them. I'm following them. And that's just a hilarious moment there, because you see, May's just no way, and yeah, Ty Lee is afraid of Azula. That much is quite clear. Once they get out of the other end of the pipe, Katara manages to trap Ty Lee by, waterbending this massive amount of water and plugging up the pipe. And Ty Lee's trapped in the water, basically going well, crap, she can't escape, so she can't stop Katara's bending. So, really great, moment there. I mean, it's a mix of rock and water, so Katara can bend the slurry. And then Toph shows up to help them, and they're able to push it right back in the drill, which causes all sorts of pressure problems in this drill's piping. I mean, this is the outtake. And as the drill, and this is the thing that real drills do. As the drill digs, it uses water to wash the rock back down through pipes in the drill and out the back, so that the drill itself doesn't get clogged. I mean, that rock still has to go somewhere, right? So, really a great bit of engineering on their part, and I'm glad that they added those details in the show, both because it lets the team win, and because it's actually accurate. Then, we go to Aang on top of the drill, and Azula catches right up to him. And it's a pretty impressive fight between them, with some really great bending. Aang switches between air, water, and earth in that order. And he just, he's smoothly moving between them, but he hasn't quite gotten to the point where he can actually combine them yet. And Azula, being like a complete master at firebending, just overpowers him, knocks him out, and it almost looks like she's about to kill him until he regains consciousness at the last moment, bends part of the wall around his hand in like a cool rock fist, and then stops her fire and pushes her back. And of course, it's at this point where the water slurry back up, like, just explodes out behind them and knocks them both off their footing. Aang regains his footing first and uses his wind bending to get back on top of the drill, where he makes a wedge out of one of the rocks that the Earth Nation guys are hurling down on the drill, and then drives it into a part of the top of the drill that he had weakened already. And this blow, like, it is massive. He runs right up the wall and then comes down like a comet. And, like, you know, Azula regains her footing and tries to stop him, but she's just a moment too late as he creates this massive shockwave that knocks her back and just wrecks the drill. Thanks largely to Toph and Katara creating that pressure buildup and the struts they weakened earlier, and their drill just at this point collapses. Like, it pretty much just, it almost like explodes and collapses, and it strikes a huge blow both to the Fire Nation general who was in charge of the drill, because he was like, our drill is unstoppable and will get us through the wall finally, and to the Earth Nation guy, because while they did stop the drill, it did make it through the wall, and he was spending all that time being like, our wall is completely impenetrable, we are the best. And now he's like, shit, this wall, like this drill got all the way through. The only reason the Fire Nation didn't manage to turn this into an entrance is because the Avatar was right there being like, nope, I'm gonna stop you. So yeah, a blow to both guys, like, you know, hubris there. It's about this point that we go back to Zuko and Iroh again. They're boarding an impressive earthbending fueled tram system. Like, that is a really cool thing. And like the mail system back in the last earthbending city, this is another thing where I'm like, okay, the earthbenders are really inventive with how they use their bending for, like, infrastructure and stuff. That is just so cool. But we also see Jet and them boarding the train and, you know, planning to, and Jet's kind of going, it's like, okay, I know they are firebenders, and I am going to stop them. Because, you know, he probably on some level thinks that they're there to hurt the refugees. I mean, they basically snuck in under false pretenses, and yeah, not a good situation, but I can't wait to see how it develops. And it's also at this point that we see the refugee family that Aang and company helped get this far. And it's kind of fun because Iroh is just, like, you know, kind of sort of cooing over their baby, and it's a cute little moment. Like, I just like that they keep acknowledging these recurring characters. Anyhow, the episode ends just a moment later with, you know, Sokka trying out a few more names for the squad, including the Boomerangs. He wings Aang over by going, hey, see, Aang's in the name. oh, Sokka, you and your boomerang. Anyhow, that's it for today's episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.